The history of Alfa Romeo is a century-long saga defined by speed, style, and sound, an unparalleled commitment to sportiness that is built into the very DNA of Italian motoring. Our story begins not with a famous Italian name, but with a failed French venture in Milan. The factory was originally the Milanese outpost of French carmaker Darracq. When that firm faltered in 1909, Italian aristocrat Ugo Stella and a consortium of Lombard investors acquired the assets. On June 24, 1910, the company was officially re-established as A.L.F.A, Anonima Lombarda Fabbrica Automobili. The Portello factory immediately hired the ambitious young technical director, Giuseppe Merosi. Merosi's first task was to design a vehicle that was faster, lighter, and more technologically advanced than the heavy, cumbersome cars of the era. The result was the legendary A.L.F.A 24 HP. The 24 HP was powered by a large 4.1-liter inline-4 engine, a refined powerhouse that immediately set a new standard for performance, allowing the car to reach a top speed of 100 kilometers per hour. It established A.L.F.A.'s reputation for mechanical sophistication right from the start. Motorsport was not just a hobby for the new company, it was a core doctrine. Merosi immediately set about creating racing versions, and by 1911, A.L.F.A. entered its first major race, the Targa Florio, using two modified 24 HP models. The looming shadow of World War I halted all automobile production. The Portello factory shifted to manufacturing war materials. In 1915, the company was purchased by Alfa Romeo, an accomplished electrical engineer and entrepreneur from Naples, who converted the plant to produce military engines and compressors. After the war, production resumed, and in 1920, the firm's name was officially changed to Alfa Romeo. The first vehicle to bear the new modified badge was the robust Torpedo 2030 HP, cementing the partnership between Milanese industry and Neapolitan finance. That same year marked Alfa Romeo's first significant racing triumph when Giuseppe Campari won the Mugello circuit, followed closely by a young driver named Enzo Ferrari, placing second in the Targa Florio. Ferrari would soon become indispensable to the marque's racing efforts. Merosi's most significant early design was the Alfa Romeo RL, a powerful six-cylinder sports car introduced in 1922. The RL became a motorsport icon, and in 1923, Ugo Sivocci drove the RL to victory in the Targa Florio, famously sporting the new Quadrifoglio racing badge for good luck. The Quadrifoglio was intended to banish bad luck after Sivocci's death later that year. Painted on a white triangle to replace the four-leaf square, it became the immortal symbol of Alfa Romeo's highest performance models, representing the perfect synergy of design, power, and racing spirit. A pivotal moment arrived in 1923 when Alfa Romeo successfully poached the brilliant Fiat designer Vittorio Jano. Jano, who had already gained immense experience under the great engineer Carlo Cavalli, brought with him an entirely new philosophy of lightweight, high-performance engines. Jano's immediate mandate was to create a Grand Prix challenger. The result was the legendary Alfa Romeo P2, a masterpiece of pre-war racing technology. Its straight-eight supercharged engine produced staggering power for the time, establishing a new global benchmark for performance. The P2 dominated its class. In 1925, driven by Gastone Brilli Peri, the P2 secured victory at the inaugural Automobile World Championship, the first Grand Prix World Championship in history. This victory cemented Alfa Romeo's status as a global powerhouse in motorsport. The racing success directly fueled A.L.F.A's transition into maker of sophisticated road cars. Yano followed the P2 with the 6C series, starting with the 6C 1500 in 1928, a beautiful and elegant sports car that shared its lightweight, advanced engineering with its racing cousins. The 6C platform was versatile, providing a base for stunning coachwork by master Italian carrozzieri like Zagato, Touring Superleggera, and Pininfarina. It merged high performance with high art, a combination that would define the brand for decades. The 6C 1500 was quickly followed by the more powerful 6C 1700, a technological marvel that employed a twin-cam inline-six engine and, in its racing variants, a supercharger. This car became the ultimate expression of the Milanese engineering philosophy. The 6C 1700 dominated road racing. Its most famous triumph came in 1929 when Giuseppe Campari won the Mille Miglia. The car was not only fast, but durable, built for the grueling demands of endurance events across Italy. The sheer weight of the company's racing investment eventually caused financial strain. By the late 1920s, the company was struggling under the immense costs required to maintain its dominance over rivals like Bugatti and Maserati. Despite the economic turmoil, the 1920s established the unbreakable link between the Alfa Romeo badge and racing excellence. The groundwork was laid for the arrival of the P3 and the true golden age of Grand Prix racing in the next decade. The 1930s stand as the undisputed golden age of Alfa Romeo's dominance in international motorsport. Fueled by the engineering genius of Vittorio Jano and the aggressive management of its racing department, the marque achieved a level of success that remains legendary in automotive history. The racing operations, though initially run directly by the factory, were fully transitioned under the management of Enzo Ferrari's Scuderia Ferrari by 1931. Ferrari acted as the de facto works team, managing the star drivers and the sophisticated machines that would redefine the limits of speed. Jano's definitive statement on Grand Prix racing arrived in 1932, the Tipo B P3. Built on the success of the P2, the P3 introduced a revolutionary feature: twin driveshafts splitting power to the rear wheels, allowing the driver's seat to be mounted lower for superior balance and improved aerodynamics. The P3 was an immediate technological and competitive triumph. Powered by a supercharged 2.6-liter straight-eight engine, the P3 was widely considered the most beautiful and successful racing car of its decade, utterly dominating its debut season and providing the financial stability Alfa desperately needed. The P3 became synonymous with the name Tazio Nuvolari, the fearless Italian driver often cited as the greatest racing driver who ever lived. Nuvolari's aggressive, often physics-defying driving style secured countless victories between 1932 and 1935, etching both his name and Alfa Romeo's into global consciousness. The high cost of racing and the deepening global depression forced Nicola Romeo out, and by 1933, the company was taken over by the Italian government's industrial bailout agency, IRI, Istituto per la Ricostruzione Industriale. This state intervention shifted Alfa Romeo's focus to strategic national priorities: advanced aero engines and elite sports cars. Giano's engineering philosophy was perfected in the era's most beautiful road car, the 8C 2300, introduced in 1931. This exquisite machine featured a magnificent 2.3-liter straight-eight engine with a twin overhead camshaft and, critically, a supercharger, making it essentially a detuned Grand Prix engine packaged for the road. The 8C 2300 was an endurance racing powerhouse, securing 4 consecutive victories at the 24 Hours of Le Mans between 1931 and 1934, and 3 straight wins at the Mille Miglia road race. Its reputation for bulletproof reliability under maximum stress became legendary worldwide. Following the 8C 2300 came the definitive pre-war masterpiece, the 8C 2900B, 1935 to 1937. Widely regarded as the first true supercar, the 2900 featured sophisticated independent suspension on all 4 wheels, an almost unheard-of innovation at the time, combined with a powerful 2.9-liter supercharged engine. The 8C 2900B chassis served as the foundation for breathtaking carrozzerie, like touring Superleggera Spider, creations that merged performance and aesthetics so perfectly they are priceless museum pieces today, representing the zenith of pre-war automotive art. The late 1930s saw the IRI ownership dictate a company-wide refocus primarily on aviation engine manufacture, which was deemed more strategically vital and profitable. This shift ultimately led to the official split with Enzo Ferrari, who left in 1937 to pursue his own manufacturing ambitions. As World War II began, Alfa Romeo was already developing its final pre-war sports car, the elegant 6C 2500, debuting in 1939. This car, with its sophisticated 2.5-liter inline-six, would paradoxically become the luxury choice for the European elite immediately following the devastation of the war. The Portello factory was severely damaged by Allied bombing during the war years of 1943 to 1944, bringing all conventional production to a halt. However, deep within the factory, a small dedicated team risked their lives working in secret on a new Grand Prix project, the revolutionary Tipo 158 Alfetta. The Alfetta, Little Alfa, had actually debuted in 1938 as a Grand Prix hopeful, powered by a 1.5-liter supercharged engine. During the occupation, engineers meticulously disassembled and hid the complex, sophisticated cars and their components to ensure their survival and prevent them from falling into enemy hands. Once the war ended and the factory was partially rebuilt by 1946, the 148 Alfetta was resurrected. This act was symbolic of Italy's industrial and sporting determination, demonstrating that the nation's technological and competitive spirit had survived the conflict intact. The late 1940s were dominated by the Alfetta. Despite being based on pre-war technology, the 148 was meticulously updated and refined, becoming virtually unbeatable in the nascent post-war racing scene, setting the perfect stage for the formation of a new global championship. The post-war era brought a major shift in corporate philosophy, dictated by the IRI. The mandate was clear. Alfa Romeo must transition from being a builder of low-volume, handcrafted luxury cars to high-volume, mass-produced, affordable vehicles, a critical necessity for modernizing Italy's infrastructure.
This required a huge leap in engineering and manufacturing methods, moving away from the complex, labor-intensive straight-eight engines of the past towards simpler unit-body construction and efficient four-cylinder designs suitable for modern assembly lines. The legacy of the 8C and P3 was that of pure, unadulterated performance. As the 1940s drew to a close, Alfa Romeo stood ready to capitalize on the Alfetta's preeminence and launch its first mass-produced model, combining its racing DNA with the urgent needs of the modern Italian consumer. The stage was meticulously set. The Alfetta was tuned to perfection, the Portello factory was rapidly rebuilding, and the world was waiting for the start of the new unified World Championship. This marked the end of the handcrafted era and the thrilling prelude to Formula One glory in 1950.
The 1950s began with the crowning glory of Alfa Romeo's racing history. When the Formula One World Championship was inaugurated in 1950, the veteran Tipo 158 Alfetta, meticulously hidden during the war, was the car to beat. Despite being based on a design from 1938, the 158's lightweight, supercharged 1.5-liter engine proved dominant. The legendary Dr. Nino Farina drove the 158 to victory in the very first race and clinched the inaugural 1950 F1 Drivers' Championship. The following year, 1951, the 159 was upgraded to the Tipo 159. Argentinian master Juan Manuel Fangio joined the team and, driving the 159, secured Alfa Romeo's second consecutive Drivers' Championship in a fierce, season-long battle with Enzo Ferrari's emerging team. Having achieved everything possible with pre-war technology and recognizing the unsustainable cost of Grand Prix racing, the IRI government owners made a calculated decision. Alfa Romeo withdrew from Formula One at the end of 1951 to focus entirely on mass production and profitability, leaving the field open for Ferrari. This retirement ushered in the most important commercial turning point in the company's history, the launch of the Alfa Romeo 1000 in 1950. Developed under the mantra, "The family car that wins races, la macchina da famiglia che vince le corse," it was the first Alfa Romeo to use unibody construction. The 1000 was a sensation. It was the first Alfa designed primarily for assembly line production rather than handcrafting, drastically reducing production time and cost. Its 1.9-liter four-cylinder engine, designed by Orazio Satta-Puliga, was modern, powerful, and crucially, built on a single block of cast iron, departing from the complex multi-block designs of the past. The 1000 proved that an everyday sedan could possess true sporting character. The engine's dynamic handling and potent twin-cam engine made it a favorite in touring car races and the Targa Florio, perfectly embodying its slogan and attracting a new, affluent middle-class clientele. The success of the 1000 paved the way for the true jewel of the 1950s, the Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Launched in 1954, the Giulietta family was pivotal. Designed to be smaller, lighter, and more accessible than the 1000, cementing Alfa Romeo's role in the post-war economic boom. The first model launched was the breathtaking Giulietta Sprint, a beautiful 2+2 coupe designed by Franco Scaglione at Bertone. Its elegant lines and the rev-happy all-aluminum 1.3-liter twin-cam engine captivated buyers, leading to production backlogs that lasted for years. The Giulietta engine was an engineering masterpiece.
It was a scaled-down version of the 1000's twin-cam design, featuring an aluminum block and cylinder head, a configuration that would become Alfa Romeo's signature engine architecture for the next 4 decades. The Giulietta family rapidly expanded to include the popular Giulietta Berlina sedan, the sublime Giulietta Spider designed by Pininfarina, and the ultra-lightweight, high-performance Giulietta Sprint Veloce for competition use. These lighter, mass-produced cars immediately rekindled Alfa Romeo's racing spirit through private teams. The Giulietta Sprint Veloce became a dominant force in the smaller capacity classes of European touring car racing, proving the versatility and durability of the new engine. The focus on design excellence led to a series of experimental high-performance models. Notably, the Giulietta Sprint Speciale, SS, designed by Bertone in 1957, featured a radical, low-drag aerodynamic body optimized for speed, foreshadowing future sports car design. Production was focused entirely on the Portello plant during this era. The factory underwent massive modernization in the late 1950s to handle the rapidly increasing volumes, demonstrating a successful transition from the craft workshop model to that of a modern industrial giant. The late 1950s saw a brief attempt to enter the utility vehicle market with the Autotutto, all-purpose, a small cab-over-engine van or minibus launched in 1958. While quirky and featuring the Giulietta engine, it remained a niche product, unlike its later competitors. By the turn of the decade, the Giulietta was internationally recognized as the benchmark for a sporting sedan and coupe. It was the preferred choice for enthusiasts who demanded race-bred performance but also required daily usability and sophisticated Italian style. In 1962, the final evolution of the Giulietta line was launched, the 2600 series. Intended as a luxury flagship, the 2600 featured a new 2.6-liter inline-six engine and was offered in sedan, Sprint, Bertone, and Spider touring forms. The 2600, however, was technologically conservative, still relying heavily on the Giulietta chassis architecture, and proving to be less commercially successful than its smaller sibling. It represented a brief luxury detour before the company committed fully to the sporting mass market. The period 1950 to 1962 saw Alfa Romeo transform itself from a bankrupt, government-owned relic of the pre-war era into a dynamic, profitable, and technologically advanced industrial giant, ready to define the segment of high-performance family cars. The foundation was set. The F1 Glory provided the prestige, and the 1000 and Giulietta provided the volume and the proven modern twin-cam engine architecture that would power the next great chapter of Alfa Romeo's history, the age of the Giulia.
The year 1962 marked the beginning of a truly golden period for Alfa Romeo road cars with the introduction of the legendary Giulia sedan. The Giulia was tasked with replacing the beloved 1900 and Giulietta models and swiftly became the definitive high-performance saloon of the 1960s. Designed by Orazio Satta-Puliga and based on the established twin-cam engine architecture, the Giulia featured a revolutionary, boxy, yet highly aerodynamic body. Its distinctive cut-off rear tail was designed to reduce drag, an early pragmatic application of aerodynamic principles to a family car. The most significant achievement was the power-to-weight ratio. The Giulia TI, Turismo Internazionale, though appearing boxy, was faster than many sports cars of the era. Its 1.6-liter engine produced 92 horsepower, allowing a top speed of 170 kilometers per hour, unheard of for a four-door family car. The Giulia platform quickly spawned a series of iconic coupés. The Giulia Sprint GT, debuted in 1963, was designed by a young Giorgetto Giugiaro at Bertone. It became instantly recognizable for its delicate lines and the distinctive step-front or scalino bonnet. To spearhead their factory racing efforts, Alfa Romeo established the semi-official Squadra Corse, Autodelta, in 1963, led by the tenacious engineer Carlo Citti. Autodelta became the heart of Alfa Romeo's competition program, building highly specialized race versions of the Giulia. Autodelta's first masterpiece was the Giulia Sprint GTA, A for Alleggerita or lightweight, introduced in 1965. By replacing steel body panels with lightweight aluminum and using a unique riveted construction, the GTA shed hundreds of kilograms, while its engine gained twin ignition, twin spark. The GTA dominated the European Touring Championship throughout the late 1960s, solidifying the Giulia's reputation as a performance icon and firmly establishing the concept of a race-bred sports sedan that could be driven daily. In 1966, Alfa Romeo unveiled another lasting icon, the Giulia Spider, nicknamed the Duet. Its boat-tail shape was controversial but instantly recognizable, and its appearance in the 1967 film The Graduate cemented its place in global pop culture. Meanwhile, Autodelta focused its highest technological efforts on an entirely new prototype for sports car racing, the Tipo 33, which first raced in 1967. The Tipo 33, with its lightweight chassis and sophisticated V8 engine, was aimed squarely at winning the World Sports Car Championship. The Tipo 33 program, featuring various engine sizes up to 3.0 liters, brought Alfa Romeo back into direct competition with Ferrari and Porsche. The road-going version, the ultra-rare Tipo 33 Stradale, 1967, is considered one of the most beautiful and technologically advanced supercars ever built. This intense focus on high-end performance, however, masked underlying economic decisions driven by government ownership, IRI. In 1972, Alfa Romeo made a radical and ultimately problematic departure with the launch of the Alfa Sud. The Alfa Sud was designed to be a mass-market, affordable competitor to the Fiat 128. It was built in a controversial new plant in Pomigliano d'Arco, near Naples, intended to stimulate the economic development of southern Italy, hence the name Sud. The Alfa Sud was a technical triumph. Designed by Rudolf Hruska, it featured a low-slung body, a spacious cabin, front-wheel drive FWD, and an innovative flat-4 Boxer engine, the first water-cooled FWD Alpha. It was praised for its handling and dynamic performance. Unfortunately, the Alfa Sud's brilliance was undermined by crippling factors. Poor labor relations at the new factory led to inconsistent build quality, and worst of all, the use of low-quality Russian steel resulted in widespread, rapid rusting that destroyed the car's reputation. Throughout the 1970s, despite the Alfa Sud's commercial challenges, Autodelta continued to succeed. The Tipo 33 TT12 finally secured the ultimate prize, winning the 1975 World Sports Car Championship for Alfa Romeo, a spectacular achievement against the world's best. The energy crisis and economic turmoil of the 1970s forced Alfa Romeo to focus on more conservative designs. The Alfetta sedan, 1972, introduced the revolutionary transaxle layout, mounting the clutch and gearbox at the rear for near-perfect 50-50 weight distribution, a feature that would define the brand for 2 decades.
The Alfetta platform was used for the beautiful Alfetta GT Coupe 1974, designed by Giugiaro, that offered a blend of practicality and rear-wheel drive performance, inheriting the twin-cam engine and the sporting transaxle layout. By the late 1970s, the company was technologically bifurcated. RWD transaxle performance flagships like the Alfetta and the more luxurious Alfa 6, 1979, and the FWD boxer-powered Alfa Sud family. This split complicated design and manufacturing. The era closed with the realization that despite immense racing success and legendary models like the Giulia and Spider, the financial damage caused by the Alfa Sud's manufacturing issues and the burden of government ownership were becoming unsustainable. The legacy of the Giulia era is clear. It established Alfa Romeo as the creator of truly beautiful and dynamic driver's cars. But the internal contradictions, balancing state mandate with high-performance aspirations, set the stage for the severe corporate crises of the 1980s.
The 1980s began under a severe financial distress. Decades of inconsistent management under state ownership, IRI, coupled with the costly failures of the Alfa Sud's manufacturing quality and the global economic downturn, pushed Alfa Romeo toward insolvency. Despite the crisis, Alfa Romeo attempted to push forward with new models. The Alfa Romeo 75, launched in 1985 to mark the company's 75th anniversary, was a final testament to the classic RWD transaxle architecture that had defined the brand for a generation. The 75, sold as the Milano in North America, was a dynamic sedan and featured the iconic twin-cam engine and, in its flagship form, the spectacular 3-liter V6 Busso engine. Its aggressive wedge-shaped styling, however, was highly polarizing. A brief and deeply regrettable collaborative effort took place in 1983 with Nissan. The resulting car, the Alfa Romeo Arna, was a Frankenstein's monster. The stylish, dynamic FWD underpinnings of the Alfa Sud, combined with the poorly received angular body shell of the Nissan Cherry. The Arna failed spectacularly. It combined the worst of both worlds, the build quality issues of the Alfa Sud's factory with the bland styling of a Japanese economy car. The Arna became a tragic symbol of Alfa Romeo's strategic confusion and industrial malaise. The financial losses mounted to the point where the Italian government sought a buyer. After a bidding war that included Ford, the sale was finalized in 1986. Fiat S.p.A. acquired Alfa Romeo, merging it with its already owned Lancia to form the Alfa Lancia Industriali Group. The Fiat takeover was a painful transition. It necessitated the closure of the historic Portello factory and the immediate cessation of the outdated RWD transaxle platform. The new mandate was platform sharing and cost reduction. The first true Fiat-era flagship was the Alfa Romeo 164, launched in 1987. The 164 was part of the Tipo 4 project, sharing its platform fundamentals with the Saab 9000, Fiat Croma, and Lancia Thema, but it was the only one styled by Pininfarina. The 164 was critical for Alfa Romeo's survival. Its smooth, wedge-shaped design was contemporary, and crucially, its most desirable variants were powered by the magnificent 3-liter V6 Busso engine, retaining the sporting identity despite the FWD layout. Fiat utilized the sporting heritage immediately. The Alfa Romeo 155, introduced in 1992, was an FWD sedan that initially disappointed purists. However,
It was strategically chosen as the platform for a massive return to motorsport. Auto Delta was resurrected, developing the 155 V6 Ti for the German Touring Championship, DTM. With massive wings, huge power, and all-wheel drive, the 155 dominated, winning the 1993 DTM Championship and revitalizing the brand image overnight. The competition's success was directly leveraged into the road car line. The Alfa Romeo 145-146 models 1994 introduced modern design cues and initially featured the boxer engines from the Alfa Sud, but were later upgraded to the company's new sophisticated twin-spark inline-4 engines. The twin-spark engine, evolving the original twin-cam design by using 2 spark plugs per cylinder, became the trademark of the 1990s, improving emissions, fuel economy, and crucially, delivering the high-revving performance Alfa owners expected. The Fiat era also saw the launch of the striking GTV Coupe and the Spider, Type 916, in 1995. Designed by Enrico Fumia et Pininfarina, their sharp, wedge-like aesthetic and FWD dynamics were a radical departure, though they retained the powerful V6 Busso engine option. The design revolution was completed with the launch of the Alfa Romeo 156 in 1997. Designed by Walter de Silva, the 156 was a watershed moment, praised globally for its elegant, aggressive styling, which successfully blended classic heritage cues with modern Italian flair. The 156 reintroduced the concealed rear door handles, giving the sedan the sleek, sporty profile of a coupe. It also debuted the revolutionary common-rail JTD diesel engine, marrying performance with unprecedented diesel efficiency. The 156 was an immediate commercial success and swept the award circuit, winning 1998 European Car of the Year. This car proved that under Fiat's cost-conscious management, Alfa Romeo could still produce vehicles that excelled in design and driving pleasure. The success of the 156 also brought the return of high-performance branding with the 156 GTA, Gran Turismo Allegea, in 1999, featuring the powerful V6 Busso and aggressive tuning, reviving the most cherished namespace from the 1960s. By the close of the 1990s, the Fiat takeover, initially seen as a death knell for the brand's unique identity, had instead provided the essential financial and engineering lifeline. The company had successfully navigated its most profound crisis. The brand image was restored, built upon design excellence 156 and racing glory 155 DTM. The stage was set for the new millennium, carrying the magnificent V6 Busso engine and the promise of a return to the true high-performance philosophy.
The dawn of the new millennium brought a brief but glorious culmination to Alfa Romeo's classic engineering heritage. In 2003, the company paid its final tribute to the legendary V6 Busso engine, releasing the highly acclaimed 147 GTA and 156 GTA, marking the zenith of the FWD era. However, by the mid-2000s, Fiat management realized that to compete at the global level and truly reclaim Alfa Romeo's prestige, a return to its fundamental doctrines was necessary, namely, rear-wheel drive and a commitment to exclusive, high-performance engineering. The first statement of this intent was the limited edition 8C Competizione, which debuted in 2007. This stunning carbon fiber-bodied coupe was the first RWD Alfa since the 75, featuring a bespoke 4.7-liter V8 engine derived from a joint venture with Maserati. The 8C was not a volume seller, but a halo car. It served as a vital spiritual reset, reminding the world of Alfa Romeo's capability to produce exotic, beautiful, and emotionally charged automobiles, paving the way for a more serious mass-market comeback. Following the 8C's success, Alfa Romeo attempted to broaden its appeal with two smaller, stylish models. The Mito, named for Milan and Turin, launched in 2008 as a sporty supermini, and the Giulietta hatchback followed in 2010, attempting to rekindle the magic of the 1950s nameplate. Both the Mito and Giulietta used Fiat's contemporary FWD platforms and featured innovative technologies like the multi-air electro-hydraulic valve system, emphasizing efficient performance, but they failed to gain the necessary global traction due to the fundamental lack of a rear-wheel drive setup. The real commitment to RWD arrived with the sensational 4C in 2013. This compact, mid-engine sports car featured a carbon fiber tub chassis, technology usually reserved for supercars, making it incredibly light and delivering the pure, unassisted driving experience enthusiasts craved. The 4C was a technological marvel that heralded the brand's shift back to its core identity, uncompromising lightweight construction and driving purity. It was the technical and spiritual bridge to the company's most important modern product launch. In 2015, after years of financial struggle and corporate maneuvering, the definitive modern Alfa Romeo arrived, the Giulia sedan. It was the centerpiece of a massive €5 billion relaunch plan aimed specifically at the North American and global premium markets. The new Giulia was built on the entirely new proprietary Giorgio platform, designed specifically to be RWD or AWD, and to achieve perfect 50-50 weight distribution. It finally corrected the FWD deviation that had plagued the brand for decades. The flagship of the new line was the fire-breathing Giulia Quadrifoglio, 2016. Powered by a Ferrari-derived twin-turbo 2.9-liter V6 engine, it immediately challenged the established German performance sedans, setting a new Nürburgring lap record for its class. The Giorgio platform proved its versatility with the launch of the Stelvio SUV in 2017, Alfa Romeo's first-ever SUV. The Stelvio retained the 50-50 weight balance and sharp dynamics of the Giulia, proving that the brand's sporting DNA could be successfully applied to the booming SUV segment. The commercial performance, however, struggled to meet the high initial targets set by Fiat Chrysler, FCA. Production volumes of the Giulia and Stelvio remained low, despite universal critical acclaim for their handling and driving engagement. In 2019, Alfa Romeo made a high-profile return to Formula One, entering into a strategic partnership with the Sauber team. This move immediately re-energized the racing heritage, providing global visibility and leveraging the brand's historic F1 success from the 1950s. A pivotal corporate moment occurred in 2021 with the merger of Fiat Chrysler Automotives, FCA, and PSA Group, forming the global automotive giant Stellantis. Alfa Romeo became one of the key 14 brands under this new conglomerate. Under Stellantis, Alfa Romeo was given a clear mandate, a complete shift towards electrification and a greater focus on high-volume segments. This signaled the end of the line for the dedicated V6 engines and the beginning of a new electric era. The first product of this new strategy was the Tonal compact SUV, launched in 2022. It represents the brand's first foray into the electrification market, offering both hybrid and plug-in hybrid powertrains and aiming for much higher sales volumes than the Giulia. The Tonale is built on a shared Stellantis platform, unlike the exclusive Giorgio platform, signifying the prioritization of efficiency and commonality across the corporation, while still integrating Alfa Romeo's unique styling and driving dynamics. The future of Alfa Romeo under Stellantis is defined by bold targets. A commitment to being an all-electric brand by 2027, starting with the introduction of its first pure electric model, the Milano, a small B-segment crossover, in 2024. The history of Alfa Romeo is a continuous oscillation between passionate engineering and economic necessity. Today, the brand stands on the cusp of its third major transformation, shedding internal combustion for electric power, but with the enduring promise to always maintain the Quadrifoglio spirit of speed, elegance, and pure Italian emotion.